Alright, so what's a Paylake? A Paylake is a lake, it's usually man-made, that you can go to and pay for time to fish at it. They've been around since the 80s, and back then they used to stock them with farm-raised channel cats. But in the mid-90s, the owners of these Paylakes realized that they could attract a lot more business, and therefore make a lot more money if they advertised having a trophy-sized catfish in their lake. You know, the catch of a lifetime. So, where do you find a trophy-sized catfish to stock into your Paylake? Since there is no such thing as a trophy catfish fish farm. It doesn't exist. It takes, over 18 years for catfish to reach trophy size. And I don't know anybody that wants to invest the time and money into raising an 18-year-old fish just to sell it to a Paylake where it will then die 2 months later. Doesn't exist. So, knowing that, where do they go? They go to the rivers. And they either hire a commercial fisherman to net these fish for them, or they get their own commercial fishing license and they net the fish themselves. But either way, they then bring them back and transplant them and stock them into their Paylake. Now, if you're thinking, oh, there's enough fish to go around, there's tons of catfish. What does it matter if they take fish from the river and put them in a Paylake? Fuck it. Enough fish for everybody. Well, the problem is that they're not just netting a couple fish, tossed them in their Paylake, and calling it a day. They're netting thousands of pounds of catfish, putting them in their Paylake. The catfish are dying because it's not a good environment for them. And then they're going back to the river and getting tens of thousands of pounds more of catfish, putting them in their Paylake, and the fish are dying. And it's the cycle that repeats. And, with there being over 500 Paylakes in this country, majority of which are stocking their Paylakes with fish from the river, and then you see their Facebook posts that straight up tell you, last year we stocked 14,000 pounds of fish into Lake 2, and another 10,000 into Lake 1. Come on, guys. That's a lot of freaking fish. And yes, catfish has always been in abundance. There's always been plenty to go around. But there's a thing called overfishing, and when you overfish a type of fish, you run out of that type of fish. So if you want future generations to, have the experience of getting to pull out a trophy-sized catfish from a river, then the states that have no or loose regulations on limit and size limit for catfish need to change. So, no resources unlimited. The catfish are not unlimited. It takes 20 plus years for one of those fish to reach that size. And yet we are taking them out of the rivers by the tens of thousands of pounds. So So just to elaborate a little bit on why exactly these fish keep dying when stocked into Paylakes, then making the Paylakes have to restock and restock, the reasons are that, like I said, it's not a natural environment. And what I mean by that is that there's no structure, there's no cover, and without that, fish get really, really stressed. There's also no, flowing oxygenated water, and they're not given, food, except if it's on a hook. So then there's also the stress of just getting hooked and snagged repeatedly over and over again. And then there's the juicing issue. And what juicing is that's what the Paylakes like to call their version of treating the water. It's when you take a chemical that at low doses is meant to help control algae in small lakes and ponds. But in high doses, it makes the fish feel like they're starving, and so they bite, the first thing that comes into eyesight. So when you have a Paylake, people paying to fish there, that's what you want. You want the fish that, will bite the first hook that drops in front of them. And the last thing that I want to mention very briefly is, thinking about cause and effect and long-term repercussions to what's going on. Carp and zebra mussels are an invasive species here, and in a lot of places they're a really big problem. Catfish happen to be a predator to those fish. They eat them. So if we continue to take the catfish out of the rivers at a faster rate that they can grow up, we're taking away one of the big predators to the invasive species. So basically, I'm just hoping that this is a friendly reminder that you have to think about the future, and that no resource that we have is completely unlimited. There's not an unlimited number of catfish, and currently we are taking them out of the rivers faster than they are replacing themselves. So, if you follow my page on Facebook, Trophy Cat Queen, you know that I love to fish, I love to catfish, and I would just really love to see, future generations be able to enjoy what I enjoy. So I also want to say a big thank you to the people that have put together exposingpaylakes.com for letting me use some of the pictures and screenshots that they've collected from the Paylakes Facebook pages, over the past couple years. If you want more information on this, I totally recommend you checking it out, because they have it all dialed in over there, and you can learn a lot. So anyway, tight lines, everybody.